Alright, it's Omno Superman again, back with another review for One Piece chapter 1017 called The Order. I love this chapter. It was really good. Big fan. But for this, we start off with the cover page of Buggy playing with a monkey. We haven't seen Buggy since the warlords were disassembled, so we don't know what's up. And the fact that his body kind of disassembles, just kind of funny. And then we just go immediately back to the performance floor. Spoiler alert, there is no Kaido versus Yamato, which was slightly disappointing. But we'll see it eventually. We just gotta wait. But we go to the performance floor. Goes back to Queen looking at Otama. It's like, what's a kid doing here? And that scares Otama, so she just passes out. And then we skip to Jinbei and Who's Who on the fourth floor. And a Who's Who star of this chapter. Like, not close. But Jinbei and Frankie are both kind of struggling because we're losing the fight number-wise, at the moment. And so is Inuarashi, I'm pretty sure it's Inuarashi, the dog, the mink. And then you see all the gifters beating up on the people who switch sides. And then Nami and Usopp cheer on Otama and get them to say their message. So previously, I thought the message was going to be like off-screened, but nah, they just saved it. Here, she gives the message, tells everyone who ate a Kibidango to switch sides and help Luffy and Momonosuke, and we gotta take down Kaido. You do cut over to Luffy being saved by the Heart Pirates. Captain Jean Bart, even though he's no longer a captain anymore, he's the only one I recognize. I don't know who the other three people are. Then you got Momonosuke and Shinobu. Momonosuke just crying, of course. I don't know how they got saved, because last we saw is they were just falling off the side of the island, and here they're just on something. I do see like wood behind them, so I don't know if they're on a ship, but the only ship that would be below them would be Big Mom's ship, and I don't know how that works out, but I don't know where they are, and that's just a mystery. But then we go to all of the gifters, and it shows them switching sides and agreeing to the order and beating up everyone who hasn't switched sides. But that helps Inuarashi could still be able to fight Jack one-on-one. Some of the gifters just look really stupid, which is still just a fact. But they're switching sides. They're on our side now. Poker, I'm pretty sure he's the snake guy. Poker is like, Jinbei, I'm here to help you so you can focus on who's who. And then it cuts back to one of the CP0 members, and they heard the same announcement, so they know that everything's switching and every floor has been mentioned. The basement first floor starts talking, and it looks like they're the ones who say all of Onigashima is in chaos. The only thing I remember about the basement is that's where Law was before he went to the rooftop, and he saw the Poneglyph, and that's where he said like it's not here either because they were looking for the red one. But yeah, Otama did the message. Nami and Usopp are happy for him, of course. So Queen's like, did that little kid do this? And they get ready to charge a little strike. But then you see Sanji just jump up into the air and do Collier strike and just kick him straight on the way so he can't shoot his thing. He's like, damn it, Judge's son again. And Sanji says, don't ever say that name to me. Are you part of his insane research team or something? And Queen says, you mean Mads? That was ages ago. Mads. We haven't gotten a name of it yet. But this means Queen didn't technically confirm it, but I'm assuming this is his confirmation. So it's Queen, Judge Vinsmoke, and Vegapunk. I think Caesar Clown was like also there, and they were all together. It's just Caesar Clown and Vegapunk are the ones who went to the world government, whereas Queen and Judge did not, is what it sounds like. And then Queen just admits that I'm a cyborg. Sanji's like, was that supposed to be a secret? Because not a great secret so far. But Queen actually looks baller. They're in their little hybrid form. Their left arm, their tail, and their hair all do the same, like, Doc Ock grip. And just looks sweet. Obviously, I think Sanji's going to win the fight, because that's how it goes, but it's going to be a cool looking fight. And this is another thing, like, when it gets animated, it'll show these parts most likely moving during everything. God, that'll be sick. And then Sanji asks how Chopper's doing. Chopper's like, I'll be fine, just focus on yourself, Sonny. Which is odd until you see his transformation. He is now Baby Geezer Chopper, which is a side effect of the new Rumble Ball. Which, if you think back to when Luffy first did Gear 3, this is what happened to him as well. Like, he shrunk down and got all small, and then he was eventually able to stop doing that. When he first fought Rob Lucci is when that happened. But then Chopper is talking to the minks, the doctors, and it's like, oh, you really have this medicine on Zoe the whole time? Yeah, it has great regenerative effects, but they're only temporary, and you'll suffer twice as much later. And then Zoro he doesn't show him asleep, but he hasn't said anything yet. This is where he's like, there's no time for debate, just give it to me. I don't care what happens to me later. The only thing that matters is being able to fight now. So they're going to give this to Zoro, and he's going to fight and most likely get super damaged. There's only one other fight left for the chapter, but on this note, two things. I've stood by the fact I believe Law is going to use his Eternal Youth move. I never remember the name of it. But he'll use his special technique that gives, to the best of my knowledge, gives his life to someone else. I stand by that that'll most likely be Luffy. Because Luffy's done a bunch of shit over the storyline that said it's cutting his lifespan, shit like that. But with how Law reacted to Zoro fighting Kaido on the rooftop, and with this here, I could actually see and understand Law using it on Zoro instead. Because if in my opinion, Luffy needs Zoro to finish the story. So if Zoro is about to die, I could see Law being like, Luffy, I know you need your first mate. So, then he does it. Obviously, that's not how it'll be mentioned, but I could see Law using the ability on Zoro instead of Luffy in the certain situation. But the other thing, with this, and with it being mentioned in front of two minks and Chopper, my first thought after I read this, don't know why, but I actually picture by the end of Wano, Luffy learning about the nothing happened moment. Like, maybe it just gets a reference by somebody and then they ask questions about it and it goes from there. Like, Luffy eventually learning about nothing happened slightly diminishes it. It does. But it would boost Zoro up so much in everyone else's eyes. It'd be unreal. Because as of now, only Sanji, Robin, Brook, and the Risky brothers know of it. Oh, and Kuma, of course, but like, he doesn't count. So the two Risky brothers, they don't matter. They may have told other people, but it's whatever. Sanji, Robin, and Brook know what's up. I don't know if Brook knows like the full extent. All he, all it shows that he knows is that Zoro and Sanji both tried to take Luffy's spot. So he saw Zoro knock Sanji out with that one attack, which is why Zoro is still stronger than Sanji. But I don't think he knows of the Zoro goes away. It would make sense that he does, because like when Zoro got the first ball of hate, whatever the hell it's called, the ball of agony, then it was in the same spot as Sanji got knocked down. So Brook could see that. It would make sense. He would be able to see. He saw that, and he saw Zoro like walk away, and then could put two and two together. But again, my thought is that by the end of Wano, due to this being a roughly similar situation of Zoro putting himself in very dangerous position, I could see Luffy learning of nothing happened by the end of the arc. But then we go back to the fourth floor. We got Jinbei versus Who's Who. Who's Who? Who? Who's Who is saying like, I don't know what's happening, but it's clear I have to actually try fighting now. And Who's Who has a big ass sword. Like, they're tall, they're roughly Jinbei's height. That sword is like 2/3 of their height, so it's bigger than most of the Straw Hats. And then he pulls it, and he just pulls out this small ass little dagger. It's like, huh. Find that hilarious. Well, then it's a blade pistol into Fishman Karate, and Arabask Fist, Arabask Brick Fist, into Shave. You see him in the air, and Tempest Kick, which is Ronkaku. And then they land. Should I call this Iron Body, right? I'm assuming he says that because he lands super fast and it breaks the ground. So that's most likely where the Iron Body comes from. And then he's like, those are the 6 powers, the fighting abilities of government agents, which reminds me, at this point, even though they have different devil fruits, I thought it was Rob Lucci. Like, I was like, this is Rob Lucci. Like, holy shit, how did I not realize this was Rob Lucci? I was wrong, of course. But then Jinbei finishes his little story. It's like, I heard about a member of the secret government agency CP9 who escaped from jail. Seems strange that a secret agent would be in prison. However, Who's like, ha, I can't believe you remember that. But yes, that was me. I knew you, but you didn't know me. And it shows him in his badass saber-tooth form. And he towers over Jinbei once he's in that form. And then he's like, ooh, I like who I am now, but I went through hell due to a single little mistake from 12 years ago. They used to say I had as much potential as the genius Rob Lucci. So this was like Rob Lucci Jr. And now it's been 12 years. And then he attacks with Fang Pistol, which looks super sick. Like, if you think back to the Arlong fight, when Arlong's, like, teeth came out when he was fighting Luffy, that's what it looks like. But this is just an attack, a Shigan through the air. And Jinbei dodges it, of course. And it's like, it shows you a pillar behind it, and it just cuts straight through it. It looks like a cannonball shot through it perfectly, just nice and clean. Then Jinbei's like, I've never seen the 6 powers be used like that before. I pity you, but I have nothing to do with your fate. And then Who's Who is like, no, that's where you're wrong. You said you're the helmsman of the Straw Hat crew, very proudly. And the mention of that name brings back the bitter past. 12 years ago, Devil Fruit was stolen from a government ship. And when Straw Hat Luffy appeared 2 years ago, I was shocked to learn the truth. The Straw Hat had eaten the very gum fruit that was stolen from that ship. And there's no break next week. Baller. We may get more information. But the gum fruit was apparently so special to the world government. It was being escorted on a government ship. And Who's Who was protecting it, and they lost Shanks. Technically, we're just making an assumption, We don't know for sure Shanks is the one who stole the ship. Could be someone else stole the ship and then Shanks beat them and they just got the fruit offhandedly. We don't know. We don't know that they specifically stole it from some Marines. Story-wise, it sounds like they did, but I'm just clarifying. We don't actually know if they did. And like canon-wise, everything that's been shown is no one else has had the Gum Gum fruit, but clearly there's something special about the fruit. For the most part, they say all devil fruits are good and expensive, and it's hard to find one in real life or in story life, whatever. So it could be that it's just a coincidence. I just happen to have the fruit, but how it is being implied is that someone special had it in the past, or the world government just knows something special about it. Because something that I think has only ever been mentioned once is that there is a book on devil fruits that Sanji read as a child while he was, after he left Judge, when he was on the cruise liner, whatever, he read the book of devil fruits. And that's where I learned about the clear fruit and why I didn't like Absalom back on Thriller Bark. But since there is a book on devil fruits, it most likely explains everything. So if there is some super special ability with the Gum Gum fruit, it could be mentioned in that book. And the world government, being the world government, would make sense that they would have access to the book so they would know about it. So there's two options. Either it's going to be revealed that some famous person in the past, either a pirate or a marine, had the Gum Gum fruit, or just in that book or through some other means, they know that the Gum Gum fruit has some super special ability. A theory I had in the past, I don't know if it was ever mentioned, but a theory, I may have heard it, I don't know, but what I'm going to say now is the theory is that since the Gum Gum fruit is special, it could be that it is one of the fruits similar to Blackbeard's, to where Luffy could eat another devil's fruit and it wouldn't kill him. And if that was the case, then that would be sick. That'd be understandable. That'd be awesome. But I don't know who's who is. He looks badass. When this fight between him and Jinbei is animated, it's gonna be crisp. Whew. And man, I'm just looking forward to it. But that, I'm pretty sure that's everything. Yeah. Well, if you watch this, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. And again, no break next week, so see you then.